Good morning, everyone. I am here with Albina Koch. Albina is the president of ICF Switzerland, and she's just as passionate as me about this initiative for international organizations and for the wider international community. I'm Saba Imru. I am the lead for international organizations and NGOs, and I'm very happy to kick this off with you all. Thank you, and I will now hand over to Albina.
Thank you so much, Saba. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone joining us from across the globe. It is with great joy and deep appreciation that I welcome you to International Coaching Week 2025, and in particular to this important series of events dedicated to coaching in international organizations and NGOs. My name is Albina Koch, and I have the honor of serving as a president of ICF Switzerland. I'm also executive leadership coach, transformational expert, wife and mother, and above all of it, I'm a believer in extraordinary power of coaching to unlock human and collective potential. And we will speak about it a bit later today. And today I want to begin by expressing my heartfelt thanks to a very special person, to Saba, for your vision, your dedication, and your exceptional leadership in bringing this project to life. Thank you for being the driving force behind this initiative, and also you show how coaching can be a bridge between global challenges and human-centered solutions. I also want to thank the entire team that worked closely with you, Saba, to everyone who is also here. I see you in our chat. Ladies, gentlemen, thank you so much for working in this project. And also, huge thank you to all our partners, ambassadors of coaching, and volunteers who continue to spread the message of coaching with courage and global reach. And finally, actually, to all leaders and champions and professionals across international organizations, NGOs, and all organizations who work and lead also with coaching mindset. Thank you so much. And maybe in this time also, I can say from our perspective from ICF Switzerland. So for some people who don't know ICF Switzerland, we are part of their all ICF global organization, and ICF, it is only one global organization who sets their quality standards and provide accreditation and certification for professional coaches. So we are here in the world also to protect quality in coaching. And we have different streams in our organizations for coaches, for also education bodies, for academia bodies. But we have also one of the streams is coaching in organization. And Saba, thank you so much. Saba leads one part of coaching in organization. This is coaching in international organizations and NGOs. In this stream, we support organizations to learn more about coaching actually, and to understand and to have instruments how to adapt it in their organizations. We are a non-profit organization, and that's why we have about 50 volunteers here in Switzerland. We have about 500 members here in Switzerland, and work on different and lead different projects. And I'm so happy to have great, amazing team in Switzerland. So I see you would like to have inspiration and insights on how to bring a coaching culture to your company, then to know about what can organizations expect from a coaching culture. And okay, some comments. One comment: our organization might to go through significant change, and good coaching culture would really help personal personnel to weather this change. So I hope that you will get some answers to your questions, and Sauber, me and other speakers, we are happy really to get your questions afterwards or during the presentations. Okay, good. Then let me start. So for me, it's also, by the way, one comment, for me, it's also important to give you not only theory and not only lecture, but also we are here for you. If you have some questions, comments, or maybe thoughts, please write it in the chat. Good. Let's go. So welcome to this webinar on coaching culture for impact. And I already said my name is Albina Koch. And for me, why this project or why this topic was very important for me in my resident time, because when I become coach, and I've never thought that I will become coach. I was from corporate. I used to work by Bosch and by other international organizations. And when I did my coaching education for my leadership role, I understood how important coaching mindset is for leaders. And in today's session, we will explore how coaching culture can unlock collective potential and drive performance in organizations. And actually, why now? So why we speak today about this topic? You already heard about VUCA World. You already heard about Bunny World, and now, as some comments we saw in the chat, different organizations go through this through transformation. And yes, we are already in political, but also in economic crisis. And we are not anymore only in uncertainty, we are already in anxious world, we are in non-linear world, and in brittle. And in this complexity, for us, is important for us individuals and for organizations to find another way to survive and to understand. So how do we not only survive, but how do we evolve? And as a picture, as a symbol, metaphor, we went from the world where we are both on very calm sea to this chaos, onto this storm. And we have this rapid complexity, we have these changes, and that's why we need to understand what will help us to survive. And as Charles Robert Darwin said, actually, we don't need to be the strongest to be able to survive, but we need to understand it to be able how to adapt best in this changing environment. What as a coaches, of course, we understand, and I see that so many leaders in the companies, in organizations also understand that for adaptability in organization and for transformation, some vision, some lighthouse there or some North Star is very important. And unfortunately, not all leaders, not all employees and organizations have it. We have maybe visions which we can put on our websites, or we can have very pretty visions which we can say this is our vision, but not all employees can identify themselves, not all teams can identify with those visions, with these North Stars. And for us and for our leaders, it's important to understand that when we speak about transformation, so many organizations think about process, goals, KPIs, but less organizations, but less leaders think about vision. And about the main resource in our organizations. And the main resource of our organizations are employees. Employees with strong mindset, employees who are resilient, employees who can unlock their creativity and can work in the teams also to be able to achieve this vision of the organization. Some hard facts. So as you see in the slide, and I will not read all the facts, but as you see in the slides, actually the latest researchers say that so many leaders, and it is 82%, are not prepared for their roles. And that 33% of employees leave the companies not because of the process or not because they are not happy with their roles, but due to poor leadership. And as you see also in the last report of Gallup in 2024, only 13% of employees feel strongly connected to their work. And this is actually about not only a role, but also about team spirit, about the leadership, and about culture in the organization, in the company. And of course, we will speak later with Melanie about resilience and about the stress level in our daily business, in our companies. That's why we speak about coaching, because coaching is one of instruments, one very strong instrument, one very strong tool which can support organization to rebuild, to transform themselves. And if you see also in the study, which we as ICF have done with Human Capital Institute, the 72% correlation between coaching and increased employee retention. We have also see this impact of coaching in the organizations. We have in ICF Global, we have program for organizations who are members of coaching in organization, and we see also the data, the facts, what is changing when the company adopts coaching culture in the process, but also in the whole structure of the company. And what I'm very happy about, I personally very happy about that the number of companies which allocate specific budget for coaching is increasing. Still, even in the crisis time, they really allocate budget for coaching because they understand that this change, this transformation in organization can help and support them to survive and also to evolve in this time. I'm now wondering and would love to see in the chat maybe some comments or also your thoughts about this data, about the numbers which you see in this presentation. And maybe also if you didn't see those numbers before and you work for organizations, how those facts, how those researchers could support you in your daily business, or also to start conversation with other departments and with your management about regarding coaching or adapting coaching culture in your organization. So please write it also in the chat. When we speak about coaching culture, what is it actually, coaching culture? And you see on the slide that this is holistic approach. This is not only one tool or only one process, but this is a mix of integrated process, systems, and coaching should really be integrated in all levels of organization. We It should be in everyday process systems, also learning and development system. And Asaba and I will already discussed about some trainings which organizations are already, so organizations very often provide trainings, 1 day or 2 day trainings or workshop for their leaders, for example. And as we know that after this training, the leaders come to their daily business, challenges and process. And the information which they got in this training that decrease day by day. And what we really see in organization where coaching is a part of learning and development, it helps really not only to learn, not only to get new information, but also adapt it and bring it really and develop coaching mindset. And leader as coach, this is leader who not gives the information only from top to down, but who support their employees, who supports their teams to unlock their creativity, also who support and who builds this psychological safety, which is very important for employees to unlock their creativity and also to think about how they can solve the challenges, how they can support organization to evolve and to develop. We speak about coaching like conversations across the organizations. We speak about team coaching mindset, how the teams speak with each other. We were learned to give very fast answers. And when what I see in different organizations and different companies in team discussions, and I can remember also from my corporate time, actually everybody listens to each other and waiting to give the right answer. And as we understand and as we can imagine, in this process, nothing new or nothing bigger can be developed. And that's why coaching like conversation support teams to unlock their potential and to create something completely new and completely different. What is very important to build also coaching culture, this is leadership commitment. And I have so many conversations with the leaders, with top leaders in organization who say, "Hey, Albina, but we are number-driven organization. We have our KPIs, and this is exactly also for those organizations is very important to start to build coaching culture, because coaching culture bring this development in organization and bring this basis for performance-driven organization and for performance-driven teams. We speak also about continuous development, not only for teams and employees, but also for the organization and their process. And as we know, some organizations see that they need to change something and they take the first answer or the first ideas. But if we think with the 5 why from Toyota, why do we need to change something? Why do we want to have this vision or this goal? After it, behind of it, we will find a real purpose of our team. And as we know, when our team has this psychological safety, they can co-create the future and the most strong strategy for achievement. I see that I will check the chat for a few seconds. Thanks for sharing numbers. Glad to see that the numbers go up. Yes, and thank you so much, Sabine. And here's important to understand for us is we start also to we are now preparing the survey for Swiss companies, for Swiss organizations, because ICF Global already does and have been doing a lot of researches on global level. Now we want also to have survey here in Switzerland, which can support other organizations to understand why coaching culture and what does it mean for us, also for Swiss organizations. If you have any other questions or comments, please write them in the chat. Good. Then we can go to the next slide. Just a second. The brain behind coaching. So when I was in corporate, I thought, and that's why I never thought about to become a coach, because I thought coaching is something like focus pocus, or in Switzerland they say spür's mich, fühl's mich. It is like something or Duftkerzen coaching in Swiss German. It is something what we don't what we cannot understand. But when I was in my first education and in my first study also for leadership psychology, I understood that the leaders need to think more about how our brain works, how our hormone system works of our employees. And Melanie will speak more about it, about resilience also later on in her webinar. But what I want also to share that if our employees are completely in the stress environment, they don't have this psychological safety, the brain will never support them to work and to give the whole potential what they have. They will be always in this survival modus, in the survival mode. And the brain, it is like with the children. And if you have children, or you can remember in your school time, when you were and when your children are in stress, you cannot remember the rules in the math, right? You cannot understand anything there, or you cannot remember the text what you already just read in the book. The same is also with us when we are in a working environment. We cannot create something. We cannot also work with each other in the team environment. And that's why what is very important to understand that actually, first of all, what coaching is doing with us, it's support to create psychological environment and psychology safety environment for our employees. It creates to develop our group and team creativity, and also it can also support us to activate some the additional intrinsic motivation in us and in our teams. What does it mean actually for our organizations, for our strategies, and what we as organizations can do to build coaching culture? So we speak about different modalities. We speak about internal coaching pools. It means that organization build their the group or the internal pool of coaches, and we have different organizations who we support to do it, from ICF Switzerland and ICF Global, and organizations like Roche, Novartis, ACP, or now UNICEF. They have their own internal coaches who support other employees in other teams, in other departments, also with coaching conversations. Organizations have external coaches, and thus collaboration with external professional coaches who work with the leaders who work also with the teams who can support also and work on the projects or only one-to-one sessions. And the third modality is leaders with a coaching mindset. Leaders who go through trainings, leaders as a coach who learn not to tell but to ask. Leaders who learn also not to push their teams, but to support them to create their vision and to also support their teams and their employees to find their self-identity and to identify themselves with the organization vision. And of course, now, as you know, so many organizations go through transformation, go also through some change management process. And of course, the employees don't have this psychological safety. And exactly that's why we need leaders with coaching mindset. We need leaders who can support their employees also to find another way also for working, find another way for collaborating with each other. And thank you so much for your hearts. And of course, combination of those three modalities, if the organization has it's amazing, and we see how big this impact is of coaching culture in organization. Maybe I would like also to ask you about next questions or comments about what we speak in. If your organization has internal coaches, or you are thinking about it, or do you use external coaches, and what is your experience with working with coaches, either internal or external? Good. Then next, strategy. So the questions which we usually get from organizations, actually this first one, how can we integrate it also in governance and business model, and to have coaching culture established in your organization? This is where you on the slide you see 6 points which are important to think about. And governance and business model is important one, because we see some problems or challenges in organization where they say, hey, we don't understand how the internal coach from one team can coach other employees or their teammates. And those rules are important to speak about, to discuss, and also to put down on the paper, also in some documents, internal documents. From the experience, we see that the best way is for internal coach to define that internal coach don't coach their teammates, but it will be cross department or cross teams. I see comment from Elizabeth. We have internal coaches. Nobody is using them. We are using external coach as a part of talent program. Most have signed up, and we received very positive feedback. First of all, Elizabeth, thank you for your comment, and I'm happy that you have positive feedback from external coaches. And it will be interesting to have conversation with you about internal coaches. Why nobody used them, and maybe what you can change to do it. But we will need some more details. Katie, convincing leadership of the need of coaching is challenge at times. Yes, thank you, Katie, for this comment. And we had in our AGM, annual general meeting, we have panel discussion with HR leaders from ACP and PwC, where we discussed about that both organizations, and we see also with other organizations, international organizations, that even in this crisis time where the organization cut their budgets, they still provide coaching opportunity to their employees because they understand, as I said before, resilience, psychological safety, and motivation. So many employees say, I don't have any motivation to go to my organization, to company, because I am not sure what will happen with me and with our organization next. And what can coaching support in this situation? Coaching can support such employees to find their intrinsic motivation in this time and to find themselves in the organization in this process. For example, one organization who we work with, there is exactly a huge crisis now. It is one international organization, and the whole management is like stuck because nobody is speaking about where we are going now. But leaders who were managed, so who are have managed to find their own vision in this process, in this picture, they're now developing the whole process of the whole organization. And this is about coaching, what coaching can do. Then the next one, integration into training and development. It is like we spoke before, how coaching has to be one part of the overall training and development program of employees and leadership. Coaching with mentoring. We see a lot in organization that have already established established mentoring programs and run very well there. But the main difference between coaching and mentoring, so mentors tell how to do and what to do their mentees. And coaching and coaches support their employees to unlock their own resources, unlock their own potentials. And all coaches know that every person has his own resources. And if we will support our employees to unlock them, we will have more resources and potential in our organization. Coaching for individuals, groups, and teams. This is very important to think, and Elizabeth, also for your organization, for example, to think about not only coaching for individuals and group, but also coaching for the teams. Also, if your organization is going through transformation, it's very important to support teams to go together. And as you saw in my picture with the boat in the storm before, you will build this team which will be able to go through every storm and and build also their North Star. And coaching for specific target groups and coaching for coaches. Actually, this is about mentoring and supervision for internal coaches in organization, what is also very important. Now is time for questions. Which questions do you have? And it doesn't matter if you are a coach or if you work in an organization as an internal coach or if you want to build the coaching culture in your organization. And maybe also some experience from your side. We are here for you so that you get best possible outcome from this session. And maybe Saba, while we're waiting for the comments, also you will share your experience working with some different organizations. I have the question from Katie. What would be the first step you would recommend to create a coaching culture out of everything you have presented? Thank you so much, Kate. First step would be for organization, and it doesn't matter if you are in HR position, in HR department, or in leadership role, or you own your company or organization, or are one of employees, not also in leadership position, is to understand why it's important for you now, why coaching culture would be important for your organization now. Actually, that other steps will be to discuss internally if you have some ambassadors or sponsors for who also think about coaching culture. And what we did with some other organization, they came to us and contacted ICF Switzerland and asked for some numbers, some facts, some experience from other organizations for blueprints, which they can present and discuss internally. And Saba, what would be your answer to this question?
Well, I think that really key leaders or key drivers are the secret. Coaching culture doesn't come from the sky. You need to have a few people who really believe in the value of coaching. Usually what I see is people that have been coached or that have gone through a coach training, and then they bring that into their organization. And so the contribution of one or two enthusiastic individuals is essential, because then they can bring also all the coaching knowledge and research, and then getting the buy-in from managers. So this can be at a very high level, the very top executive, but you can also start by department or even by team. Then it can grow organically, but getting the buy-in from leaders who then will model a little bit of a coaching approach, being more supportive, asking questions, empowering, that can really resonate, and it can spread more easily in alignment with the official processes of introducing a coaching culture.
Maybe, thank you, Saba. And maybe additionally, I was thinking also about have the first experience to have the coaching, for example, for your team or for your leaders. And in ICF Switzerland, we have huge pool, really big pool of professional, very good coaches, and you can invite them and ask them also on our, by the way, we have on ICF Switzerland website, we have catalog of all our professional coaches. Take a look, go there and see which coaches do we have with amazing experience, and contact one of those coaches and ask to provide a demo session or to come to your department and support maybe in one discussion and you will have this experience, and maybe built on this you can also discuss further steps. Elizabeth, we are introducing a 2-hour coaching training session for leaders who have no experience with coaching. What key skills would you recommend to focus on? Questioning, open questioning. This is what I always see leaders cannot. So we are trained, and so many leaders, and maybe Saba, you can also share then your experience. So many leaders think that as leader, I have to tell what to do. As a leader, I have to give the answers, but not. The leaders, they are people who support their teams, their employees to start to think and to start to create. And that's why the key skills, I would say, this is questioning and supporting with communicating and listening. Yes, on different level, not only listen what your employees tell, but what do they not tell, and how do they feel while telling you this. Summer, what would be you?
Well, I think these are the two basic skills, really, listening and asking questions. What I'd like to add about the questions, because often leaders say, well, what should I ask? They're supposed to know their job. Why should I ask them anything? So I'd like to differentiate between what kind of question do we use in coaching? There is an approach in coaching where you help people to reason better. So when you ask questions, you're not like a police officer who's trying to get evidence from the person that you're coaching. The questions that a leader asks of the coachee or team member are questions that will help them reason. Very simple. What do you think? How do you see these things? What are your ideas? Tell me. So this is the kind of questioning that you might have rather than, what are the statistics about this topic? Those are very factual questions and you don't need to be a coach to ask that kind of a question. So that's a small tip.
Thank you so much, Saba. And maybe also this will help some other thought about leadership and also a discussion. So many leaders think that when employees come to them, they need to give those answers. For example, if employee come to the leader with the challenge, we have a challenge, and so many leaders want to really to give the answer and solve this challenge. But we can support our employees to develop themselves with their questions. Okay, and what is your opinion? How would you like to solve this challenge, or what is important for us? And also always support to create the vision for organization, for the team, for employees, for individuals, and always to combine and to make this bridge from today to the vision.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that beautiful conclusion. So I want to salute all the volunteers and salute Albina for her beautiful leadership. She's our new president and she shines and she's doing a great job. So see you at the next session, I hope.
Enjoy it. Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.